Yes, we live eventually. Fantastic. It's 3rd
So,
of September. Yeah, I'm just 23rd and 23rd of September. And today we have a small part of our SEO charity live stream. Small, but hugely important. So we have Aleyda Solis here. Thank you, Aleyda, for helping us and for helping small shelters, cats and dogs in Ukraine. Okay, guys, I'll just take a couple of minutes to explain what it's all about. If you don't know about in Ukraine, there are plenty of small shelters for cats and dogs. Plenty of cats, plenty of dogs. People like cats, people like dogs, but especially now for 2.5 years, war is raging in Ukraine. People have no money or have very little money. So in March 25th, so 2.5 years ago, I decided I used to give them some money, but small my personal money. And 2.5 years ago, so when war started, I for some reason I don't know, I decided why don't I ask SEO community to help them. And since our charity project exists, we collect $50,000 more than that. But because it's not only this page we have, we also have sponsors money. So for example, for this particular event, 23rd and 25th of September, we already collected almost $6,500 from our sponsors. Thank you very much, our sponsor. Maybe Alicia, you can put this slide with all of our sponsors, and we just say thank you to them. Yeah, if you have it handy. So yeah, okay. So it's plenty of sponsors. You can see them. I probably for today I won't have enough time to read them all, but you can see them on our page. They're all clickable. They all from SEO this way or another. So this is SEO charity project. All money. This is free. So Aleyda's Ask Me Anything is completely free. You don't pay anything. If you want to donate, I will put some links to donate. If you want to donate. Please do even $5, which is cup of coffee, which is it's called Buy Me a Coffee. Could make it not death and life and death, but it's still one animal could be fit for a couple of days. Okay, hi Gina, how you doing? Hi Jenny. Yeah, well, nice to see all the familiar faces. Okay, guys, I won't take more time. I'll put some links so if you can donate. Also, if you can be a regular donator, $10 a month. You also will get a T-shirt like that, which we don't use donated money. I use my own money to print them in Ukraine and send them to you. Okay, thank you very much. Without further ado, it's all yours, guys, Alicia and Aleyda.
okay, I'll now present Aleyda. I don't know who doesn't know Aleyda, but if there are some people who don't, just a couple of words. Aleyda is famous as a consultant, author, speaker, and entrepreneur, and it's perhaps one of the most positive person in our SEO industry. Among other things, Aleyda is the founder of Orienti, I hope I spell it right, a boutique SEO consultancy agency, and a co-founder of Remote is Not. It's completely free platform where I myself have found a few nice link builders and SEOs for myself. And also everyone knows this learning SEO platform where you can find all the knowledge about SEO encompassed in just one content, and the roadmap for your learning and whatever you need, basic learning as well as advanced learning, everything. So it's something that everyone knows, and Aleyda is the founder of that. And SEO for More, my favorite SEO newsletter. Yeah, and Aleyda is in the t-shirt of SEO for More. If you are not subscribed yet, go with this link and subscribe. You'll never regret it. And like once again, it's one of my favorite newsletters in SEO. And Aleyda, do you sleep at all?
I try to. Thank you very much, Alicia, for your kind words and amazing intro. I really appreciate it. I'm delighted to be able to be here today and support such a great cause for sure. And yes, I'm very looking forward to start answering the many questions that I was sent. I was pretty surprised to see so many questions. Hopefully, this means that all these people have already donated to the great cause that we're supporting here. And if not, then this is a moment to do it for sure. And yes, more than happy to start going through the questions. I have already highlighted a few to start answering, but by all means, Olesha, if people here who are watching this want to ask any question that you consider to be relevant, do let me know. More than happy to go through those questions too. That one of the things that I actually enjoy the most doing, which is why I also have the newsletter, is to share with the community, give back to the community, and to ensure that the information that we have in the community is relevant and is aligned to what is actually expected from us, right? There are a lot of information out there. Some good, some less good. Let's say so. This is why I want to start with the questions. But I don't know, Olesha, if you want to add anything else before I start going to the questions. Sorry.
Yeah, you are free to add your questions in the comments, and if there is something interesting, we'll ask Aleyda, of course.
Amazing.
If not, maybe we'll do that something in the written form or whatever else. And also, even if you cannot donate, you can help us spreading the word. You can post about this on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever else, and invite your friends and your colleagues to our show, so to say. Okay.
Amazing.
And would you like me to read the questions, or would you like to do that yourself?
I can start with the ones that I already have. Then with the ones that you receive, I will appreciate if you can do it. So the questions that I want to start with here, I believe that is a common challenge that a lot of SEOs tend to have, unfortunately, even whatever type of clients they're dealing with. Is someone saying, when working with a client on SEO, you notice the paid portion of their digital marketing is moving your organic improvements around on page one. How do you convince them they could adjust their paid spend to account for more organic lift with the improvements you've made? So what I understand here is that the paid search, the PPC campaigns going on, that might a little bit on one hand cannibalize what you're doing in terms of SEO, organic search traffic. Then another way to that I can also understand this is like, okay, they are spending and they are investing a lot on paid search. It would be great to have a little bit of that spend also going to SEO, which is something that again I've seen happening a lot. Like pretty much even for the top brands out there, you can see that they have a lot of direct traffic, and SEO is likely the second one. And then they have social, they have and then they have paid search. But then, of course, the budget of paid search is 10 times more than SEO. So it's a challenge. So we need to, on one hand, become better, develop our skills, sales skills, and marketer skills in SEO to develop cases and showcase how much more cost effective we can end up being in the long term. Because I definitely understand the need of having paid search campaigns for very, let's say, timely needs. There is like very specific type of seasonal campaign or need that you need to address right away, and you haven't had the chance to prepare yourself with an SEO process accordingly because you started a couple of months back, right? Things like that. But also because you have seen that there are so many more, let's say, complex or competitive queries from an organic search standpoint, that you're not yet able to rank in the top positions because your sectors might be quite competitive, and there's a need to have paid search campaigns to be up there. then what happens? Then you can end up getting featured in the top positions, also organic positions. But paid search will continue to get there. At the end of the day, a lot of the traffic will go to the ad whenever you're there. So for that matter, you actually need a good coordination with the PPC specialist and to start doing tests. Okay, I am already in the top positions for these queries, which are very expensive queries for which we are paying right now for you to get the clicks. Let's agree to stop the spend there, and so you can spend on advertising for other queries where we are not yet in the top positions. So it actually makes more sense to spend in there rather than overspending on something that is already ours, because we're already top organically. And to start making tests if the decision makers are not 100% sure, if the other stakeholders are not 100% sure, okay, let's start doing tests, the before and after. We stop spending for the group of queries for which I am in the top. What happens is the audience shifting, or the traffic is shifting to the actual pages are ranking organically well. I am tracking that the number of clicks and traffic that used to go to the ads are going out to my relevant category page, product page, and so on, that is ranking at the position. So it's about tracking well, measuring well, and coordinating well. And then, of course, if you see that you're already there, it's about making the case from a business standpoint with the decision maker. Look, from a paid search standpoint, we were paying, an example, 10K per month to get this traffic. This is not necessary now because I am able to regain, or this traffic has already shifted to my top positions, organic positions. And this is the proof that I have this traffic has already migrated to these pages, because I am ranking already for these queries organically. So this 10K that you used to invest in paid search, let's agree, like half of it can go to continue investing for other type of queries that actually make sense from a paid search standpoint, because we're not yet there in SEO. And the other half, give it to me to accelerate the process and to develop a few strategies that will allow me to actually start ranking better for these queries for which we are not yet. Right. So this should be the mindset. It's about coordinating with the paid search specialists on one hand, showing proof and showing data from a conversion standpoint, from a revenue standpoint, to decision makers, because at the end of the day, they don't understand about technicalities. They don't understand about what doesn't speak that is connected to business, to revenue, which is what they care about, right? And this is how we should start communicating our needs and start coordinating with the paid search specialist, because at the end of the day, it's not about, okay, and I have seen these literal scenarios in the past. Unfortunately, it's like the paid search team, they say that they don't want to stop bidding for the queries because they have forecasts to hit, and they didn't take into account that we will be there already from an organic standpoint. So, but they have forecasts to hit. It's like, oh, cannot they start bidding for other topics, other queries, or the areas that actually makes more sense from a cost, from an ROI standpoint? It's like that, right? But it's about coordinating, working together, not in silos, and showing that there are other ways for them that you can support them. Look, why you don't start bidding for this other type of topics that I haven't yet been able to rank well organically, that actually makes sense for you to start bidding to. So it's about this type of communication that we should develop. Of course, working on a silo won't help, and also it also helps to communicate well with decision makers in terms of the business. And then I have other two questions that have a lot to do with this that I will like to answer. And by the way, this first question was sent by John Sukowati. Thank you very much for your question. And then this other one was Kevin Jonas, and Kevin asked a couple of questions that are very connected together about when pitching to clients, how do you reply when clients say you're too expensive? And when consulting with clients, do you usually provide traffic forecasts with your strategy? And I believe that Kevin here actually answered himself his question when pitching to clients. What do you reply when they say that you're too expensive? It's like at the end, it's about ROI. Maybe you need to invest a bit at the start, especially at the start, because your web architecture is a mess. Maybe you have a single page application. You don't have a proper web architecture that you can rank with properly for all of the query permutations that I have. So you need to even have to redevelop your site, right? So at the beginning, the investment will be very high. But if you're able to show the decision maker that you're able to move the needle and to make the SEO process ROI positive in a reasonable timeline, very likely they should be open to support you, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about cost effectiveness and revenue and being ROI positive. So one of the ways to do this is with forecasts, doing traffic forecasts, and say, okay, I am right now ranking in positions top 50. I'm not even in the top 10, top 5, or top 3, which are the what will actually bring traffic, meaningful traffic. And but if you give me this and this and this resources from a technical standpoint, content standpoint, and promotional link building standpoint, I will be here in 6 months, and I will be able to be in the top 10, because many of these queries are not even that competitive at all. And for those very few pages that you actually already have, you're already in the top 10. So it's not due to the lack of authority that you already have. It's just because how you are structured. So you develop a forecast and you say, okay, if what this current rankings I am here, if I am able to rank in the top 10 or top 5, top 3 in 1 year, this is the type of traffic that I will get if you apply the click-through rate of the positions that you're aim to target. Then you can also do the reverse, right? Your current traffic, and what will happen if you improve in 5%, 10%, something that is reasonable, right? Beyond or as an aggregate of your current organic search traffic trend, right? How much that will mean, not necessarily from a traffic standpoint, because again, this, I am investing 50K and you're only bringing 10K more in traffic. It's like, this is not cheap. This is very expensive. However, what you should add there in the calculations is like, this is not 10K more in traffic, but this is this in extra revenue, this in extra conversion. And ultimately, if you're spending 50K, this 10K in traffic will bring these extra conversions and revenue that from an ROI standpoint will perfectly justify in just 6 months or in a year your investment. And in 2 years, it will like multiply by 10 the investment, right? So this is the type of math that you need to do. And yes, doing forecasts is very, very should be a straightforward approach to follow. Then also you can, to show that you're not bringing this data from out of nowhere, right? You can go to tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs, SEO Ranking, many of these tools that provide the organic search traffic of the top ranked pages, and you can take a look at how much traffic these pages that you are recommending to create are attracting. So you can show the proof to your client. Look, if we were ranking for this same topics as this other player is doing already, this is the type of traffic that it will bring. Let's apply our current conversion rates and average price per product, and this is how much we will have. But we need to create these pages first, or optimize them, or promote them accordingly, right? But after 6 months, after a year, this is how much that they will bring. And then finally, whenever we hear is cheap or is expensive, it's because we are being compared to something else, very likely, very usually, right? So another thing that we can do is, you're too expensive. Compared to what? Because many times if we go and check how much it will cost to bring the same type of traffic for these queries that many times are very expensive in paid search, the cost in PPC will be 3 times more of what we're asking to spend. And what we're asking to spend is actually an investment on the website to improve many other features and functionalities and configurations that will positively impact users at the end of the day, because SEO is very aligned to a good user search experience and a good user experience overall. So my argument here will be, okay, you say that I am too expensive. Let's compare and let's see how much will this traffic be if paid search will bring this traffic. And you will see that if they try to bring this traffic, many times will be more expensive. Maybe not in a month, but maybe in the 6 months. And your results, again, is not to buy traffic, but to invest on your website characteristics to bring this traffic and attract this traffic eventually at scale in a way that you don't need to be paying every single month. So at the end of the day, it will highly compensate after a year, right? So this is a thinking, and this is the mindset that you should have when trying to come up with a case and showcase the value of your work and how the value of your work will have other type of implications, positive implications into other areas, the UX team, the speed team, other teams that are looking to improve the user experience and will highly benefit from whatever you're recommending. So that is very, very important. Then I have another question here regarding, will search engines crawl the pages even after putting no index tags? Then this is a question from Nagy. And then creating thousands of pages using programmatic SEO will cause any spam issues too. So 2 questions in one. So I want to address them because my guess here is that Nagy is asking this because they want to follow a programmatic approach, which I love to talk about, because there's this unfortunately in we know how in SEO we like to tag things, and we often take this black and white type of approaches to things. And for many, programmatic SEO means spam, which is not true. In fact, if you work with enterprise level clients and many startups too, you will see that because of their nature, characteristics, marketplaces, for example, or e-commerce, they need to follow a programmatic approach in order to be able to scale and to be able to fulfill the need and showcase all of the product inventory. It's a requirement. It's not a matter if I like it or not, or if an approach that just makes sense because of the business model. And then on the other hand, usually the tactics that exist are not bad per se. It's how we use them at the end of the day. And yes, you can use programmatic to scale, but if you make sure that the rules focus on quality, on generating a quality output that actually connect with user needs at that point in the customer journey, that you're offering information, products or services that are actually unique and are actually useful and fulfill the need of the user when asking these questions, and you provide value to the user, it shouldn't be something spammy. It shouldn't be something bad. The issue is that when you start to or you intend to index a lot of information that many times doesn't make sense even at scale, just to target and rank for many query permutations for which you don't have a unique offering, you don't have anything of value to add or to fulfill the need of the user. When you go and take a look at which are the other players ranking in top positions, you can see that the players ranking in those top positions have a completely different nature than your website, or have a much better offering that you won't have a way to deliver right now. Don't do it. It doesn't make sense, right? Also, programmatic SEO is, and I was talking about this with a client earlier today, is about setting good rules of how to scale in a smart way, right? So if you're starting, if you don't have that much of an offering at the beginning, you will want to do an audience research, a keyword research to understand what is the current search behavior, topical behavior of your audience, and identify, okay, which are the top 50 topics or 100 or 1,000 topics that the permutations actually are relevant for me to target, add value for me to target business wise, and I have an already a valuable offering to target still today, even if I am starting. And let's establish rules to make sure that I only index, which I believe is why this person is asking about. If I no index a page, will Google stop crawling? Yes, Google has mentioned, and if you work with large websites, you will see that after a while, if you no index a page and just stop endorsing these pages, internal linking them not as well, or including them in XML sitemaps, well, Google won't have that much of incentives to continue crawling these pages as much, because, well, they don't bring value. They are not meant to be indexed or ranked anyway. So yes, if you want to make sure that Google recrawl a page, better to index it. And it's even better if it is unique and meaningful to rank, that they find that it's meaningful to index and rank as well, and competitive and unique, etc. Right? But my point here is, like, if you want to follow the programmatic approach, establish rules, establish query permutations that actually make sense for your products and connect with the way that people actually search. Start with a little number of permutations. Don't try to target them all. Start by little with the rules, and then make sure that your indexing, no indexing rules take into account the inventory of data, of information, unique information that you have. So, for example, if you don't have more than 3 features or 3 products or 3 offerings per page, you know, index, and you will start indexing when you go beyond 3, for example, to ensure that there's uniqueness and information there to fulfill the user needs. And then, of course, you can make sure that you provide a great experience with those pages by featuring FAQs that actually make sense and address real concerns and questions. Add testimonials, add user-generated content, and so good internal linking that actually helps the user to browse these pages and are crawlable, right? The navigation is crawlable, etc. Right? But yes. Use the no index meta robots there and no index to avoid not necessarily the crawling. The no indexing is not necessarily to avoid the crawling, but that will be a consequence of no index in the long run. Google will be incentivized to crawl less, but to avoid trying to index something that is not worthy because it's not unique, it's not helpful, it's not as relevant, or doesn't have the type of information that is comprehensive enough to be worthy to rank as well. And you don't want Google to take that into account and find you to be not as useful, not as relevant, not as high quality as you should, right? Or as you want. So there's definitely that. I want to also address this other question now that I spoke a little bit about programmatic, because this has to do about scaling too. Let's say I managed to get the math to match all of the most semantically related words in terms of cousin similarity and other LLM techniques for a mid-range competition. And but my site is brand new, so I have little backlinks. Would I rank above? What is how to advantage the top 5 websites, like websites that have backlinks. Both situations are with good tech SEO, let's say. Thank you. And so pretty much the question is like, okay, it seems that, again, this person has been able to develop content in bulk because they leverage, it seems, the AI content generation. And they say, okay, I already have my content, and my content is able to semantically connect with the queries that I want to target, but my authority, my popularity is very behind the ones that are ranking first. So I want to go back here to the content, because yeah, maybe your content from a semantic standpoint, we know that there's so many tools nowadays, and we know about embeddings, etc., might be semantically relevant to the top term, but my question is it useful? We know that this is the differentiator at this point. In an era in which content, as we can see, is commoditized, can be generated in bulk thanks to AI. And if you have a good approach, you have a good filter, good workflow, etc., you can make it work, as we can see. My question is like, is your offering helpful enough? Is your offering of content or information actually addressing the user needs? Because that is what ultimately will make your content get backlinks. If you see that your actual gap versus your main competitors are backlinks, authority, popularity, if you start promoting, doing outreach, whatever tactic to gain backlinks with these pages, ultimately nobody wants to link to content or pages that are not useful or bad, or that's the reality. This is a human thing, right? Very reasonable. Then on the other hand, even if you're able to get all the backlinks in the world and you have all the semantically relevant content, if you're not offering and fulfilling really the user needs with your information or your offering in that page beyond the information, because maybe the information per se is not your business model, right? And the user intent is to buy a product or buy a service, not only to consume information. Google won't rank you well. We have heard about the Google Doc leaks in which we have been confirmed that Google takes into consideration user engagement, right? Google will likely see that the users, even if at some point they start ranking you well because of your relevance, your popularity, whatever, if the user doesn't engage with your content, doesn't seems to like your content, well, maybe the rankings won't stick as much as you wish, right? So I will recommend make your offering not only semantically relevant, but actually to make sense to the user and to fulfill the user needs and to ensure that you provide the best, most comprehensive experience for the user that fulfills their need at that stage of the customer journey. That is what I will be obsessed to do first. And then once that I make sure that I have that in place, even if you have a programmatic layer, that additional layer won't be programmatic because it's like cherry on top. Once that you have that, you can start like establishing your strategies to grow your authority, your popularity. On one hand, with backlinks, on the other hand, like establishing your brand, doing brand-oriented type of activities and promotion. That is what I will do. Of course, backlinks play a role, popularity play a role. I go ahead and do a gap analysis. Let's remember that you shouldn't be obsessed with the number of backlinks. Quality matters, relevance of the link matter, the context of the link matter. Again, this is something that we already knew, but we got more confirmation after the recent Google Doc leaks, right? That is stuff that is actually taken into account and measure. We don't know exactly how, right? Because we shouldn't assume necessarily from what we got access, but the metrics are there and are gathered. And we know that this is my point, and potentially how I'm going to start wrapping up from the current questions that I have here. Think about the user. If you know that this is what users will like and how they get fulfilled and how you will address their needs and what they will find to be more comprehensive and they will feel fulfilled from it, do it. You don't need, this is about marketing at the end of the day. This is about UX. This is about delivering value. This is about product marketing. Forget about the technicalities. I don't care if you have seen a confirmation that this is a ranking factor or not. Forget about semantically related. That is the base. That is the base. This is a given. But build upon that to make sure that what you actually offer makes sense for the user and connect with what the user needs to be able to sell and to convert and to make sure that your rankings stick. And it's not a one-time type of tactic that maybe Google overlooks only temporarily, but won't stick much anyway. So, and you deliver value. It's about delivering value to the user at the end of the day. So I think that, well, the ones that I wanted to highlight the most, there are a couple of more here that I can also address. But I don't know, Lesha, if you would like to highlight any question that you have received that you think is super helpful and might be aligned with the ones that I haven't yet addressed to start wrapping up here.
I think that there were interesting questions, but they are not very related to what we're talking about, and they are quite like self-evident. So I think we can continue with what we have with our. If we happen to have one or two questions in the comments, go ahead, ask
Perfect.
them. People are very shy; they are
I
somehow
see.
afraid to do that. But maybe if we have some really good questions, we'll ask them.
Perfect. So I have an interesting question here regarding and I think that this is important, right? Context matter here. Is there an advantage to breaking down my 4,000 URLs into multiple category specific XML sitemaps rather than keeping a single sitemap? Currently, I have two XML sitemaps, one for the main sitemap that includes all the URLs except the blog, and one specifically for the blog. Thank you very much, Rohit, for this question. And for 2,000 URLs, I wouldn't spend my time trying to optimize XML sitemaps. I mean, if you don't have a proper navigation, by all means, I will highly, highly recommend you to have an XML sitemap. But if your website, that is very small, by the way, with only 4,000 URLs, has a proper navigation, crawlable navigation, you link from your top navigation to your top categories link to your top subcategories and top products, and they cross-link between them to each other on one hand, and these are crawlable. Having XML sitemaps is always a great idea as an additional mechanism to let Google know about your URLs, but it's not something that I will obsess if you don't have millions of URLs necessarily, right? And if your URLs are not changing all the time, they are not being published or eliminated and redirected, so you have a very dynamic inventory. It's not your case, right? So I will just make sure that your XML sitemap is up to date, is refreshed every time that you update the website with the URLs that are actually indexable, that you're not endorsing by including in your XML sitemaps URLs are returning 404s or are redirected or I can canonicalize to other URLs that don't really make sense to crawl or to incentivize Google to crawl, just to find out that, these pages are not meant to be indexed anyway. But I wouldn't spend my time trying to break down an XML sitemap, trying to help the crawlability of the pages, because you see that the pages are not indexed. If you have an XML sitemap and a proper navigation and only 4,000 URLs and you don't see that URLs are getting indexed, it's very likely not because, and if you're not blocking your website with row.txt, right, it's not very likely because of lack of crawlability issue, which is what the XML sitemap will solve, but actually because of if your pages are worthy to index, if they have unique content, meaningful content, relevant content that actually address the user needs, or maybe they have rendering issues because there's an over-reliance on JavaScript. Also another hypothesis, right? But I wouldn't necessarily focus on the crawlability side of things with this number of URLs, with XML sitemaps, if you don't have all of this additional content. So this is the type of thinking that I hope that many of you develop, right? Like, does it make sense to tackle this type of configurations in this context, right? Because by all means, if you have millions of URLs out there that are changing all the time, and you see half of them are not getting crawled at all, go and take a look at your navigation and your XML sitemaps. If that's not the case here with 4,000 URLs, I wouldn't necessarily go into that. Then I have another question that is interesting by Con. Very exotic names we're getting here. Thank you very much, Con, for your question. How does a successful independent SEO consultant get new clients? This is a chicken and egg type of situation, right? Like, I remember that my first clients as an independent consultant came because, thankfully, when I was already working as still an employee back in the day, I had already started giving talks at events. I share with blog posts, I share over social. So eventually, when I became independent, and I remember I published a blog post saying I'm independent, taking new clients, etc. people already trusted me, already knew that I was capable of doing certain type of SEO things, right? And so they started to refer me clients accordingly, and come to me because they knew that I was available. So it was something very organic, as you can see. So from my experience, what I can say is that the best way to get clients as an SEO consultant is establishing trust and showing potential clients and your businesses out there that are your target market that you can do what you're selling, that you can do audits, that you can do this type of analysis, that you can do this or that. So for that, before you become an independent SEO, you should be able to establish that the authority and the trust that you're capable to do all that. And I will highly recommend you to start sharing your use cases or your analysis of what you do in the day-to-day, showcasing your skills, because at the end of the day, this is very reasonable, right? Like a company that wants to hire an SEO or a service, they will look for people who are reliable, who they trust, who they know that they are not going to scam them, or that they have actual experience doing this successfully in the past. So having a few case studies or success stories or people endorsing you for good work always help. So if you're able, even when you are working for others as an employee, I will start doing a little bit of like engagement, offering my even pro bono consulting for organizations that are well worth it to develop those skills and have people and businesses that refers you are happy to refer you, endorsing you. And you can, I will highly recommend you to start developing your own website, describing what you do, what are your target market, what are the type of clients that you're looking to engage, and what is the type of outcome they can expect from you, and engage and within the community of the audiences that you're looking to attract. Go to events online, in person, meetups, share in LinkedIn, share in X, or in social media what you're able to do, and start establishing potentially like partnerships with other professionals that you can collaborate with or can complement what you do. For example, PPC person that have clients only in paid search, but will look to partner with someone from organic search and refer each other, things like that, for example. So I will take that path and I will apply this sort of thinking and principles to start developing a good client base. Sharing is for me is like usually the best way to show that you can do what you preach, right? Like that, and helping others too, that also help in the community, because they will endorse you and they will refer you very likely. Having good clients that are happy to refer you, and like most of the clients that I get nowadays are clients who I have worked with in the past and they have already a good experience with me, or they know someone that I have worked with in the past, so they refer me too, and they are happy to refer and come with me straightforward. It's much easier to pitch and to sell something to someone who already trusts you rather than not, right? So these are pretty much my recommendations, and that's pretty much it. I believe that we are a little bit beyond the time that we had set for our today's Ask Me Anything. And in any case, I see that there are so many questions. This also gives me ideas of posts that I can address in next days, of course, while promoting SEO for Paws in LinkedIn. And I will try as much as possible to continue answering these questions and also like clarifying any doubts that you may have.
Yeah, thank you, Aleyda, a lot, and thank you for everyone who attended and everyone who donated and everyone who shared, of course. And just thank you. Follow us. We have the big event on 25th of September, and we'll have this session recorded and shown there as well. So if you want, you can always see it again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Anton, for the opportunity, and thank you, Alessia, for having me and being such a great host too. And go and donate if you haven't yet. Very looking forward to see all of donations mentions over social.
Yeah, guys, thank you very much for attending and donated today. Thank you, Aleyda, Alessia, always great stuff. Guys, our main event, Aleyda couldn't make it, unfortunately. Our main event is in 2 days, September 25th. Link is there. You can register. We will add you to our invite, so you can attend. And as usual, attendance is absolutely free. Donations are very appreciated. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.